All right, I'd like to drop a prediction about tonight's fights, especially Adrian Broner versus Jason Litzau. But as I'm watching videos on YouTube, excuse me while I fix this camera a little bit. As I'm watching videos on YouTube, I just I'm on here kind of spontaneously, just solely because I can't I can't take the bullshit anymore. All right, I just can't. I can't. Nobody has. There's only a few people who I can see who have been really real about the two superstars' upcoming fights. Uh, Let me get it out of the way that for Floyd versus Ortiz is a good fight, but I'm not paying to watch that shit. I learned my lesson with Floyd. I'm not paying to watch that shit. Okay? Show me somebody on here who's really picking Ortiz to win that fight. Show me. Show me. And then and then he gets all this fucking credit for a comeback fight that's basically a fucking tune up. And like I said, I think it's a good fight. What it does is reiterates Floyd as the top guy because he's going to dominate Ortiz. It's going to happen. What did D Styles say when Mayweather fought Mosley? What was it? Wake the fuck up. Wasn't that what he said? Or snap out of it. Snap out of it. Come on. You think Floyd has a big chance of losing to Ortiz? Really? No, you don't. No, you don't. Fuck out of here with that shit. But it's a good fight because Ortiz deserves the shot. And because Ortiz deserves a shot and Floyd's giving him his shot, we are respecting this fight some more. On the flip side, Marquez versus Pacquiao. I'm not happy about the fight. I've always said, I said it before Mosley, when people were talking about who Pacquiao should fight next, and Marquez was a name. And stop fucking acting like Marquez wasn't a fucking name being thrown as one of Pacquiao's opponents that he should be fighting before he fought Mosley. Now that he's fought Mosley, Marquez is all of a sudden unacceptable to everyone. Fuck that. That's some bullshit. Anyway, I think I got enough for a whole full feature length vid on this shit. I'm not happy about the Pacquiao Marquez fight. I'm allowed to be unhappy because I wasn't calling for Marquez to fight fucking Pacquiao before Mosley. I wasn't. Check me out. Check my comments. Check my videos. Find me where I said Marquez should fight Pacquiao. The only time I said Marquez should fight Pacquiao was at 140 or lower. This fight being at 144, I just don't. I can't hang by that. I can't stand by uh, Pacquiao on this one. I can't. I can't do it. It's either 140 or lower for me for Marquez because to me, after I saw Marquez and Floyd, it was obvious to me that Marquez does not carry weight well, does not move up well. I mean, I know styles make fights, and Floyd versus Marquez was a horrible style matchup because Marquez is a counterpuncher who can fight if he needs to, but Floyd is not aggressive and was never going to bring that out of Marquez. If anything, Marquez had to come out of his element to fight Floyd, in which case he wasn't really fighting the real Marquez, and in which case I gave no credit to Floyd for it, and I still don't. Now, if you think I'm going to give Pacquiao credit for fighting the same guy at the same weight, even though styles make fights, and Marquez can be in his element in this fight, he doesn't carry the weight well. Pacquiao does, and if Pacquiao dropped him 4 times before, he can drop him this time. Do you see how many times Marquez got clocked by Cat CDs? Imagine a different angle. Imagine Pacquiao's power behind those punches, and you tell me what happens. I don't see either one of these fights being very competitive, and I know one of the first comments I'm likely to get on here is, "You're a fucking hater." I'm not a hater. I've said it my whole YouTube career. I've said I want to be a Floyd fan. I want to be, and I've always said I'm not a straight up Pacquiao fan either. I'm somewhere in the middle. And these fights, while respectable in their own right for their own reasons, nobody's nobody's picking the other guy. So how much credit do either one of these guys get? I don't understand. I don't understand. And I also want to touch more on hypocrisy. How many of you give Pacquiao credit for... How many of you who are giving Floyd credit for fighting Ortiz, how many of you guys refuse to give Pacquiao credit for fighting Cotto? And before you try and tell me how different the situations were, let me remind you that Ortiz was dropped by Maidana. He dropped Maidana, was dropped by Maidana. Maidana made Ortiz quit. From that point on, I questioned Ortiz's heart until he fought Berto. The only thing impressive about Ortiz fighting Berto was the fact that he showed the heart that a lot of us questioned that he had. Now, back to Cotto. Cotto lost to Margarito. Basically made Cotto quit too. I mean, if you look at the 11th round, you see Cotto falling down. He doesn't want no more. Then he fights another guy. Jennings? Was it Jennings? And then he has a war with Clottey. Comes away close decision. A lot of people thought it could have went to Clottey. A lot of people think it would have went to Cotto. It doesn't matter. It was a war. He comes off of a win and goes on to fight Pacquiao at a catch weight of 145. And everyone's pissed off over 2 fucking pounds. And bringing up the fact that Cotto was damaged goods. If Cotto fought, Cotto's fought every fucking body. He gets all my respect. And Pacquiao Cotto is one of the fights that turned my attention to Pacquiao. I wasn't convinced about Pacquiao moving up to this weight before he fought Cotto. And even in my post-fight Cotto-Pacquiao vid, you can find me saying that perhaps Pacquiao needs a cup to fight at 1 or 2 more welterweights before he takes on Floyd. Anyway, those same people who do not give Pacquiao credit for Cotto will give Floyd credit for Ortiz. Ortiz warred with fucking Maidana, was made to quit, came back against Peterson, Lamont Peterson, and Peterson exposed his ass. I'm sorry. The draw, I think Ortiz won the fight, but the draw was deserved in so much as Ortiz did not fight the way he should have. He could have. He could have owned Peterson, but he didn't do it. Okay, so let's get the similarities down. Cotto Margarito, Ortiz Maidana, comeback fight Jennings, comeback fight Peterson. Of course, Ortiz had some more comeback fights, had some more fights in there, but come on, let's be real. Come on. Cotto Ward with Clottey, and then got to fight one of the 2 superstars. Ortiz warred with Berto. Berto! Fucking Berto! And now he gets to fight one of the top guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this video might hurt some feelings, but get the fuck over it. Both of these guys are still trying to pull the wool over our eyes, in my opinion. And I know my boy now, precise presenter, will probably come and argue with me about this, but it's too similar. Okay, I'm not overjoyed about either one of these fights. I will not pay for either one of these fights. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And if you don't give Pacquiao credit for Cotto, then I don't want to see you giving Floyd credit for Ortiz when he whoops that ass, because he's going to whoop that ass. Just like Pacquiao's going to whoop that ass on Marquez. Somebody point to me where there's an Ortiz prediction. Somebody. Even my boy Ricky Ricardo. I love those fucking videos. Those are like a breath of fresh air in this highly polluted YouTube boxing scene. Okay? I love those videos. Sandwiched in between 2 fine-looking women and then a bunch of great content in between. I just love Ricky Ricardo's videos. Now that the shout-out's over, I have to disagree with the 60-40 split he gave to Mayweather and Ortiz. He's saying 60-40, but yeah, he's another guy who's picking Mayweather. I'm picking Mayweather. He's picking Mayweather. She's picking Mayweather. Where everybody's picking Mayweather, it ain't no 60-40, dog. 80-20 at best in favor of Mayweather. I mean, come on. I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so fucking sick of it. I want both of these guys to fight each other. And if they're not going to fight each other, then I really don't care about their careers as welterweights. And that's the God honest truth. I don't believe in God, but I still say those sayings just for Any of you fucking random detail fucking pickers out there who like to pick apart every detail of shit. You're an atheist, you can't say that. Fuck you. Anyway, that's the truth, man. It's the truth. If Mayweather and Pacquiao aren't going to fight each other at welterweight, then I don't give a fuck about their careers at welterweight. I've always said that Paul Williams and Martinez are too big and too skilled for Mayweather or Pacquiao. But if they're not going to fight each other, let the young lions of the 140 and 147 sort themselves out, because neither one of these guys, Mayweather or Pacquiao, is going to drop down to 140 to fight these guys on their own terms. And it doesn't look like either one of these guys are willing to really create their legacies and go up to 160 or 154 and make some noise. Do you know that I would give Pacquiao or Mayweather a hell of a lot more credit if they took on somebody like Angulo than the current opponents that they have, Marquez and Ortiz? I would. Even though Angulo's like a fucking brawler who might get made to look silly by Pacquiao and might get really hurt, or not made to look silly, but made to look silly by Floyd Mayweather, or he could get really hurt against Pacquiao. I would give them both way more credit for fighting a guy like him at 154 than I will for their current opponent choice. And if this makes me a hater, so be it. Like I said, if Floyd, this is my final stance on this subject, I think. I know I always say this is the last time I'm making a vid like this, but it won't be. Come on. Can't avoid it. This is my stance. If Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao do not fight each other at welterweight, then they need to get the fuck out of the welterweight division, because they're the only two reasonable opponents for either one of them at welterweight. Yeah, sooner or later, Mike Jones is going to make another, a big name. I expect him to make a name for himself pretty well. And then maybe he'll be in the mix, but we're looking forward to one opponent at 147. Come on. It's either they fight each other or they move up. Flat out, point blank. Or they move down to 140. Flat out, point blank. The 147 is either they fight each other or it's done. I stick up for Pacquiao a lot. I stick up for Precise a lot, especially on stupid-ass fucking videos. People will diss me for sticking up for my buddy, but at the same time have a whole channel dedicated to the man they claim to hate. Drives me fucking insane. This whole community drives me insane sometimes. It drives me literally out of my fucking mind. You guys make me want to pull my fucking hair out sometimes. Now, there's still the people, I respect their opinions on here, and some people are keeping it real to an extent. But I haven't seen anybody point out the similarities between Pat Cotto and Mayweather Ortiz. I haven't seen anybody do it. And it needs to be done. Because I can't sit idly by and watch these two get undeserved credit for shit fights. I'm sorry. I call them shit fights. They're better fights than what I just called them. But in the grand scheme of things, if they're not fighting each other and they're not moving up in weight or they're not dropping down to 140, then I could give a fuck. Deuces.